Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Let me get my hat settled. Let me get my hat all straight and settled. Get into this vlog. It is a beautiful day outside. I actually probably don't even need this coat, but I'm gonna wear it to be cozy. Be all cozy today. The sun has been shining all day today, and it has been much warmer than it has been lately. It was like over 50 today, I think, and it's been really, really nice. So I woke up. Well, I know you guys are all wanting to know about Tanya Jean's birthday party, so let's get to that first of all. Nikki texted me today, and she said, I just watched last night's vlog. She was like, was Tanya Jean surprised? Tanya Jean was very, very surprised, and interestingly enough, I got a text from her son Nick today, and he said, thank you so much for saving the day, because she was onto it, and it was because of you that she was completely surprised. So she was very, very surprised. So what Nick planned for her was that it was like 20 people, and we all went to this place last night. I had never heard of it before. Actually, they were going to have their Christmas party for the kennel there, and Alex had heard of it too, because his work was going to do like a get-together there as well. I had never heard of it. It's like this game place that you go to, and you separate into two different groups. So we were like 10, like two groups of 10, and you go in, and like when they start it, you like pick a poker chip, and it's like one's red and one's blue, and you pick, and so like that divides up your teams. So like our team was Tanya, her son Nick, her husband Eric, her cousin Alex, two girls from the kennel, and her niece. Who else was on it? Okay. How many people were on it? Let's see. Okay. Nick, Tanya. I'm looking in order. This is how we stood. Nick, Tanya, me, Alex, her niece, the two girls from the kennel. No, there's three girls from the kennel, and then Eric, her husband, and her cousin, because they're real close, and they were down at the end. And so there was like 10 teams, and then you go in and you play all these games. And the games are kind of like a mixture of, like they have like an MC and everything. It's really cool. And I'm sure other people have heard of this. I'd never heard of this before. Caroline's stepson and his wife would die for this. I gotta tell Caroline about this, because they love games. And so it's kind of a mixture of like different game shows. It's called like Game Show Live or something like that. It's like a mixture of like different game shows that you do. And like the first one that you do is kind of like Family Feud. Like you guess these answers and you have like 3 strikes and then you're out. Tanya and I were like this the whole time to the other team. And the questions are like, what's a romantic movie with a tragic ending? Apparently they get all the answers from like Facebook and stuff like that. They like ask these questions on Facebook. And then this is a franchise. There's like a ton of them, because they said something about being like, they're like the place with like the most reviews gets like all the people there get to go on a cruise or something like that. They were saying something like that at the end. They were like great hosts that did it. They were hilarious. You all get to name, like put on like name tags and of like funny names and stuff like that. Like Alex's was Daddy, but it was D-A-T-T-Y. And so like the guy kept on like making these like hilarious jokes about like Daddy and stuff like that to Alex. And then Tanya put Linda Lovelace on hers, and so I put Ron Jeremy on mine. They were hilarious. It was just like we had such a good time. And so and then the second one, that's the first one. Then the second one's like Wheel of Fortune. You like spin this wheel, like you have to go up there and spin this wheel, and then the wheel is like, it has like, it's not like you don't win money or you don't win anything except for like they take a big picture of like the winners at the end and all this kind of stuff. And he was funny because like at the beginning he was like, and the winner wins a Apple or an iPhone Apple 14, and we're all looking like this, and he goes, photograph that will be posted here for you to always come and see because you are the winners. We were all laughing and stuff like that. Here's my neighbor from across the street. She's gonna come and say hi here in a second. But anyway, so the second one's like Wheel of Fortune. And then you have to like guess these phrases and stuff like that. Like, I'm trying to think of what the phrases were. One was from Harry Potter. It was, "You're a wizard, Harry." And it was like a movie quote. And then one was, Tanya got this one. Like, we only had like and it was the Seattle Space Needle, and we got it like right away. We ended up winning. He liked the other team more. So our team, so I had this hat on last night, and Tanya, so we were like coming up, we had to come up with team names. Their name had something to do with dogs. I can't remember, because they were like, you know, because the dog kennel. Their name was something to do with dogs. I can't remember what our name was. Oh, no, I can't remember what their name was, but it was something to do with dogs. So Tanya was like, we should be iconic because of your hat. And everybody was like, yeah, that's like a good name, right? And because we couldn't, the one name you couldn't pick was Champions, because like, I guess like every time somebody picked the name Champions, they always lost or something. It was like some inside joke or whatever. So I said, what if we were like Itonic? Like, because it's your birthday, you know? So we were like Itonyk, like Itonic. That was our name last. Wasn't that cute? So anyway, and then the second game was Wheel of Fortune. There were 4 games. I can't remember what the third game was. But anyway, the last game was like Plinko. And then you went to the top of this thing and you had these chips and you like win them in. And there was this one thing in the middle and it was like, it said terror on it. It was like, it had like written terror. And it was called the trapezoid of terror. And so like if your Plinko went in that, you like you didn't get any points and stuff like that. Hey! Look at you all dressed in red for Valentine's Day. She's getting inside. She is cold today. It's not even that cold outside. She's like running inside. Maybe she has to go to the bathroom or something. See, this is when you sit on the front porch too much. You start thinking about what your neighbors are doing, you know. But anyway, we ended up like getting like Alex got like a lot of points for his. Somebody on our team got 1,000. Like if you get 1,000, you got like an extra point, and then we ended up winning at the end. So yeah, we had a really good time when we walked in. So we were all sitting there when we before Tanya got there, and then she walked in with Nick, because Nick picked her up and said that she was going somewhere for dinner, and she was like so hungry. She kept on saying, she goes, I thought I was going to Ocean Prime because Nick asked me if I wanted lobster and steak tonight. So Eric, her husband, on the way, because he knew that she'd be hungry, he brought her like Burger King. So she was real hungry for Burger King when she got there. But anyway, when she came in, we were sitting at these 2 tables in the back. There was like nobody there but us, so we were all sitting there. And when she looked in, she looked right at me, and she was like, I am so mad at you. And she looked right at me. And then she pointed to her other friend, and she goes, and you. Because that was her friend that had kind of messed it up to begin with. Well, then Nick told her what I said, and so then she backed that story up. So she and I were laughing so hard, her friend, because I don't know her friend real well, but I know her because, like, you know, she's been in everything that Tanya throws throughout the years and stuff like that. So we were laughing so hard because we got her. I mean, Tanya was so surprised. She had no clue. Nick said she had no clue until they pulled up in front of it, and he parked in front of the restaurant next door, and so she was like, well, I thought we were going to have lobster and steak, and they kept on walking, and she's like, and she saw us all standing in there, and so like that's when she was completely surprised. She had no idea. She thought she had it figured out, and then she was like, she had no idea. And so anyway, she was really, really surprised. She had such a good time. It was so much fun. We had such a good time. It was so funny because he had booked it for 7:30 and 9:30, but like it was because we thought the group was going to be so big that one group would go in at 7:30 and one group would go at 9:30. But since they took us all in at the same time, we got done. It started at 7:30 and we got done. It went like an hour and a half, and we got done like 9:10 or whatever. They don't have food or anything there. They have like a bar. You can get like I got a Dr. Pepper. Alex got a water. They had like White Claws and beer there and stuff like that, but it was all like canned and stuff like that. And so Nick was like, well, who wants to stay at 9:30 and do another game? And I like looked at Tanya, and Tanya was like, I'm going home. She was like, I'm tired. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to go home too. So Tanya and Eric went home, and Alex and I went home, and then like one other couple went home, and everybody else I think stayed and like played games and stuff like that. So, but anyway, it was such a fun time. Alex was so hilarious, and he was like, his answers he was getting, we had such a good time. And yeah, it was fun. It was like almost all couples except for like 2 of the girls that work at the kennel that didn't have, you know, partners or anything like that. But it was so much fun. We had such a good time. So that was last night, and then we got home, and I was like, Alex was like in bed, and he was like, I said, you want to watch something? And he was like, no. He's like, I'm so tired, because he had been gone all day long. And he was like, I'm literally going to like look through a couple. This might be him coming home right now because he's on his way home. It is him. Will he honk? Nope. Pulled right into the garage. I opened the garage door for him so he could just pull right in. So he he was like, I'm just gonna look at some TikToks and stuff like that. And I was like, should I lay down and take a nap and then like get up? And I wanted to watch another one of those Harlan Coben shows. I'm totally hooked on them, okay? And I went down and I went through my like weekly list of shows, and I'm down, my phone's inside because I'm uploading a video, but I'm down to like 8 or 10 shows, and like half of them are shows I watch with Alex that come out at the end of the week. So I didn't really have anything. People keep on asking if I'm watching True Detective. I've said this a couple times in the vlogs. I'm trying to wait until it's all out so I can binge watch it. And then I think I'm going to actually go back in and watch the first episode over, because I think there's 4 episodes out now, so I only have 2 more weeks until I can, and I'll probably binge watch it that Sunday night that the final episode comes out. So, and I keep on meaning to like watch movies that are up for the Oscars, but to be honest with you, I don't know that I'm going to do that this year. I want to see Anatomy of a Fall, but there's some years I'm like really into award shows. Like I didn't watch the Grammys last night. Was that last night? Yeah, because I made my drama video about Taylor Swift today. I didn't watch the Grammys last night. I didn't watch the Golden Globes. I haven't really been into award shows this year. I'm sure I'll watch the Oscars, but I'm not really into the award shows this year. I don't know why. I just am like, I'm just really, some years I'm really into it and other years I'm not. And last year I was like really into watching all the movies, but a lot of the movies I really wanted to see. This year I'm just kind of like, there's not really a lot of movies that I really want to see, if you want to know the truth. Like when I was going through the list, I was like, I don't really, want to see tons of these movies. I just don't. I really, to be honest with you, I know people have said it's fantastic. I have no desire to see Oppenheimer. There's like 2 other movies that are like got a lot of awards that I don't really have any desire to see those movies either. So there's like, well, the one movie is that the Flower Moon movie or whatever with Leonardo DiCaprio. We read that book for a True Crime Book Club, and I did not enjoy that movie. I thought it was, I did not enjoy that book. The book was an important book to read because it's about the development of the FBI, but I just wasn't really that. It was like the first big case they ever like solved or did, but like the beginning of the FBI. But the book was so slow. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie, let me know in the comment section below. I don't have a problem renting these movies. I'll even rent them for like they're like $19.99, a lot of them on like iTunes or Amazon or whatever. I don't have a problem renting the movies, but there really aren't that many movies that I want to see. I only actually have to watch like 8 movies to watch all the movies that are up for the major categories, because I've already seen Holdovers and Barbie, and then there's like 8 or maybe 10, but I don't think it's 10 movies that I have to watch. So I keep on like telling myself I need to watch one of these movies. Alex doesn't really have a desire to watch any of them. So I have 2 cups of coffee out here with me right now. I have this one because somebody sent me that coffee from that what do you call it? Well, it's called Grounds and Hounds, and all the money goes to this like shelter dogs or something like that, shelter puppies. And I love this mug. It's like clay on the bottom. Anyway, I love this mug. So I made this coffee earlier. You can see it's like there's hardly any left in it. It's cold. It's like iced coffee. So I'm going to drink that. This is blueberry. I'm down to, I have a box of blueberry K-Pods that Joanne sent me. I'm down to my last Barney's White Christmas K-Pod. And then I've gone through I have like 3 other boxes of K-Pods in the garage, which to a lot of people that probably sounds like a lot, but I used to have like 20. That's how much coffee I've drank this fall and winter. Like I've gone through like every K-Pod. Because I was like, I'm not buying any more until I've gone through the rest of it, because this is just like a waste. I keep on buying these that I don't need. So I have like 2 or 3 boxes of like Starbucks, like holiday. Like I have a holiday blend. I think I have like a caramel, like a vanilla bean. And then I think I have like a peppermint. I'm not big on the peppermint coffee unless it's Christmas time. And this year I didn't even really, but I don't think, I was gonna say that wasn't, maybe that was at Mods. I have a box of the Mods coffee too in there. And I think that's it that I have in the garage that's left. Maybe some of those like the nut flavored ones. But I don't like, in every box that I have, I just have like a few K-Pods because I've opened them, I brought them inside, like put some in the drawer, and then I put them back there. So I don't have tons left. So anyway, Alex went to bed. Or he was like in bed last night. He was like, I'm just going to roll through some TikToks. I'm going to go to bed. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to start watching the show. Usually I have put my AirPods in. And I was like, do you care if I just like sit here and just listen to with my, with it on? So I'm going to put my AirPods in. He was like, no. Because I thought I was going to get up like late. I thought, well, maybe I'll take a nap and lay down. And then I went and looked because I have like 2 appointment books. I bought 2 appointment books this year because of course you need 2. So I ended up putting all my appointments in both books, and I only really used the smaller one. I thought my therapy appointment today was at 2, but I looked, because I usually do them on Thursdays, but because we're doing it like this week, so we're doing it more often because I'm doing this trauma narrative, and so I looked and it was at noon today, so I was like, well, I have to be up at like 10:30 to get like ready and get the dog ready and have a cup of coffee and get ready for therapy. I want to be like awake when I do it because we're doing this like real serious thing in there, and so it's like I want to be awake, so I can't stay up super late tonight. And so I sat down and I started watching. This was probably at like 10, maybe like before that, maybe because we got home. Well, if we left there at like 10 after 9, we were probably home by like 9:30, so this was right after that. So this was like 9:30, 9:45. No, probably 9:45. I started watching The Stranger, which is the Harlan Coben, one of the series. I like keep on looking at these lists, like which ones are the best and ranking them and stuff like that. And The Innocent, I think it's in Spanish. It's like always #1 in all of them. But I started watching The Stranger, which is about a woman that tells... Okay, this is the thing that's confusing about these series, is that they all look like they're shot in the exact same neighborhood, and the same actors are in several of the series, but they obviously play different parts. And so, like, the husband in Fool Me Once is the husband in The Stranger. I think his name's Richard Armitage or something like that. I don't know, because when I was reading the synopsis, it said he's in like another one of his. So they like have the same actors in several of them. I heard Alex just opened a Coke in there. He must be thirsty for a Coke. When he comes home and he's had like a Coke, that means he's like ready to relax for the night. So anyway, I started watching it. I got like a third of the way through and I started getting really tired. And I looked at the clock. It was right around 10 o'clock. It had to have been right around 10 o'clock because I was like, if I lay down now and I lay down for an hour, I thought I can be up by like 11:30 and then I can stay up till like I can watch like 2 episodes and then tomorrow I can finish it because almost all of them except for I think it's called, is it Shelter or whatever, that's on Amazon. It's 6 episodes, but most of them are 8 episodes. So I was like, I can watch 2 of them tonight, and then I'll have 6 of them to watch tomorrow, and then I also have 1,000-Pound Sisters. So I can watch all that tonight. And so I went upstairs and I laid down and I like got into bed, like, you know, everything like that, and Alex like was like, "Are you going to sleep?" And I actually like left my iPad and everything, like I like turned everything off downstairs, but like left it to come right back down and, you know, and sit and stuff like that, I think. And so he was like, "Are you going to bed?" And I go, "No, I'm just going to lay down for a little bit." And he goes, "Well, I'm going to sleep too, which means don't set an alarm." So I was like, okay. And then I was like, if I fall asleep, I fall asleep, so I have to get up early tomorrow anyway, and then if not, then I'll just get up and I'll watch a show. And he was like, "Well, you're going to like lay down and take a nap, but like not set an alarm and not fall asleep." And I go, "Well, I'm just going to rest my eyes for a little bit," because I was so tired. I woke up and it was like 1:45 in the morning, so I like went to the bathroom and I was like, I think at one point in the night, Boo Radley wanted to go out. I took him out, but I can't remember. I woke up like 3 times last night, and so I was like, I'm just going to go back to bed. I woke up at like 1:45. I woke up at like 4 something, and then I woke up at like 6:30. And I came down here. That was when I took Boo out, because I came downstairs, took Boo out. I got a glass of water. I drank a glass of water sitting out here. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just stay up, because at that point I had like got a good night's sleep. And I went upstairs. Alex was up. He was getting ready for work. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to sleep a little bit more. And I ended up sleeping till like 9:30. And I got up at like 9:30. So I got a good night's sleep last night. And got up and, you know, did all this kind of stuff before I had my therapy session today. And then today I had my therapy session and we started the trauma narrative, which a lot of people are asking me questions about what the trauma narrative is. So he explained it to me today. I actually did an entire video on my Peter Does Stuff channel talking about the accident, talking about the trauma narrative of what we're doing, and kind of went into deeper explanation on my Peter Does Stuff channel, explaining all of that. I talked about driving. I talked about a lot of stuff over there. I actually thought I was just going to read the trauma narrative, and I got into a lot more than that. So if you guys want to hear about all of that, that's over on my Peter Does Stuff channel. Had a really good therapy session, and by good, I mean, who is this person? It's like this car just pulled in front of my house. He's got like his hat pulled down real low and like sunglasses on, and he's like going through his bag. Like, did Alex order DoorDash or something? Or oh no, he's backing up now. He was like going through like one of those DoorDash bags. or like one of those deliberate, you know, something like that. But anyway, like a DoorDash bag. But so so yeah, and when I say like it was a good therapy session, it was good in that it was just, it's hard because I'm having to go into, well, I talked a lot about this on the other video, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but I'm having to go into it and just allow myself to feel my feelings without holding back and be like, well, you're not allowed to have this feeling because, or you shouldn't feel this way because, just feeling my feelings, which is really, really hard. Yeah. So he gave me some suggestions on how to do that. He was so sweet and like guiding me through it. We didn't really make it through tons. We made it through like really pretty much like the incident and everything that happened. I mean, I say this a lot in the video that I did, but like I don't remember anything. So it's a lot about afterwards, you know, and everything that happened after. So I had that therapy session today, and to be honest with you, I was so spent after the therapy session that I was like, I just don't even know that I'm going to film any videos today. Like, I just felt emotionally spent after the therapy session. We set up another session, and we had been going like every other week for therapy. So we had like just recently, not too long ago, like moved it to every other week. So he was like, I said, he's like, when do you want to schedule an appointment? You want to do every other week? What do you want to do? And I said, what do you think? And he said, I think we should do this every week for a while. And he was like, and if things, you know, get really, you know, like deep, then maybe even like twice a week until we get through the trauma narrative. There's like 10 questions on it. And I said, I'm totally down for that. So we scheduled another appointment for next week. And, so yeah, and then, like I said, I got off of there, and I was just like, I felt like just emotionally spent. I just was like, I just was worn out, and, I took Boo Radley out, and I came inside, and I had kind of like outlined this video that I wanted to make about like, well, not outline, it was like a paragraph of like, I wanted to talk about this Taylor Swift thing because I thought like people always ask me, like they're like, you always talk about the same 5 or 6 people on your channel. And so I'd seen all this stuff come up about Taylor Swift and the Grammys and all this kind of stuff. So I thought, well, there's something else that's different for my channel, and I'll talk about that. So I thought, well, you know, maybe if I just do a drama video and I do my vlog, then at least that'll get me out of this a little bit. And then when Alex comes home, I can just kind of relax, you know, and whatever, and then watch this show tonight. I have a feeling I'll probably get tired early. Oh, he's in there watching. He must have heated up something. That's why I opened the Coke, because I can hear him. He just turned on the TV. Because he's watching Emily in Paris now. He's like obsessed with it. He said a bunch of people recommended it to him. So he's like watching Emily in Paris. I guess there's like 3 seasons. He's on the second. He just started the second. I mean, he watched the first season and like, I guess it's just half-an-hour episodes or whatever. But he like watched the first season in like one setting. So now he's on the second season. I think he just started it. Like watched one episode like 2 days ago, and then last night he didn't watch any TV. So tonight he's probably finishing Emily in Paris. He's like obsessed with that show. He's like, have you watched a show? I'm like, no. He's like, it is so good. I'm like, who told you to watch this? He's real excited about it. It's my new cup. So he's watching Emily in Paris and probably heated something up. Like, he brought his brunch home on Sunday, so he's probably eating that. So yeah, so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this drama video, and I filmed the drama video, and it ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would. I was like, I went to bed early, I really have nothing to talk about in the intro. That's usually what I talk about in my intros and my drama videos, you know, it's like, oh, well, this is what I watched on TV last night, and that goes into 20 minutes of nonsense, right? And I ended up doing this whole like intro. I don't even know what I talked about in retrospect. Kelly Martin and Lifetime movies, and I don't even know what, but anyway, Kelly Clarkson at one point, and so anyway, I did this video about Taylor Swift and everything that happened with that. And then I got done with that, and I was like, he had texted me, because he had asked me at the end of the session, he was like, do you want me to text you the questions for the trauma narrative ahead of time so you can kind of like think about them? And I was like, at first I was kind of like, I don't know, because he had told me, he was like, whatever work we do, we're keeping like in the session, like you're not going to do work like out, like he's like, you know, sometimes when I give you homework, because he's given me homework, you know, since the time I've worked with him, he's like, when I give you homework of things I want you to work on, he's like, but this is something I just want to keep like in our sessions. He's like, it's going to be too heavy for you to like think about outside of there. So when he said that to me, I was like, I don't know if I want the questions. He's like, well, just to look at like the morning before the session, he's like, it might prepare you to like what you want to think about that day. And I was like, okay. So I had these questions. I hadn't even looked through them yet, actually, except for the first one or two that he had asked me about. And so I was like, well, that would be a video for my Peter and SF channel, because a lot of people had asked when I mentioned it over here in the comment section, not a lot, but a few people had asked on the comment section, they had said stuff about, you know, like, what's a trauma narrative? I don't know what that is. And so I thought, well, this would be a good video, because I didn't even really know what it was, to explain to me how he explained it to me, and like to read the questions of what it is and whatever, right? Well, it ended up getting into a lot more than that. It ended up being like a half an hour. I didn't expect that. So I did that video, and then I was like laying there in bed, and I was like looking through my Peterisms comments, and people have been asking me to do more like addiction recovery videos, and of course I always love talking about that. And so I did an addictions video on talking about 12-step programs on my Peterisms video, and then I came downstairs, and I didn't realize it had gotten that late, honestly. I thought it was a lot earlier than that. You know, when I film these drama videos that are like, I think it's like 51 minutes or something like that, when they're almost like an hour long, and then, you know, rendering that, I have to upload them on my memory card, that takes a while, then I have to render them, that takes a while, and then upload, all of that takes a while, you know, it's like uploading on my phone right now. And so before I know it, like an hour and a half, 2 hours has gone by, and I don't even realize it. So I looked at the clock, and it was like 4:35 or something like that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm in a vlog, and so I like, you know, got a new battery and did this and whatever. I think like, what was that sound? That was the table. I feel like 2 of my batteries are about to die, but I have 4 batteries or 5, so I don't know which ones they are, but like one of my batteries, 1 or 2 of my batteries always kind of like dies around an hour now. Like they start like flashing at an hour, I've noticed. So I'm gonna have to start noticing which ones those are. I now also have this, like, remember those wooden bowls, if you watch my Peter Does Stuff channel, the wooden bowls that I bought from at Trader Joe's, like at Christmas time with Caroline. They're like little bowls like that. They're like $3.99 or $4.99 each. I love them. But one of them I keep like in the cabinet, and I keep my batteries in there when they're charged. I think like when they come right out of the charger, they're like fully charged. But I think if you let them sit there for like a day or two, they like lose, which would make sense, right? So I think that's the other thing too, because when I pull them out of there, they seem to like not last as long. So I was getting all that stuff ready to vlog, and then I was like, okay, if I vlog for like 45 minutes to an hour or whatever, and I get done, if I'm still feeling like making videos, and after that, like I'll make a review video. I've had this Vanderpump Rules video that I wanted, like I put a bunch of things down I had thought while I was watching the 10 seasons leading up to, oh, that's on tonight too, is Vanderpump Rules is on tonight. So I was like watching, or I was gonna make that video, but then Alex texted me. I asked him earlier, I said, what time do you get done today? And he said 5. And so he had texted me at like, right after that, it was like 4:45 till or 10 till 5 or something like that. No, because it was right before I came out here. And he said, leaving work, heading home, babe. And I was like, okay. And so, I texted him something back about like I had just taken Boo out and fed Boo or whatever. And then I was getting ready to vlog, and I was getting on the front porch when he came home, and he was like, okay. So that was it. And so I don't think I'm going to film those other videos today. I don't honestly know what I'm going to film tomorrow. It's Cousin Fun Day. I think Caroline's, I haven't talked to her today. I need to text her and see what time. I think she's going to pick me up at like 12:30, which means we'll probably run a few errands. I don't really have a whole lot to do. She'll probably want to go to Costco. I'm gonna go to the P.O. box. I keep on meaning to do this P.O. box opening. This stuff's just sitting on my counter. I need to open it. She'll probably want to go to Costco. We'll go to the P.O. box, go to Costco. Probably run through Starbucks and get coffee, or on the way. I don't know. We'll probably go to brunch at some point. We may not get coffee because we'll go to brunch. she may want to go to Macy's or something. I'm just kind of along for the ride tomorrow. So whatever she wants to do. I mean, it's a lot of her errands too, so whatever she wants to do. So depending on what time I get home, I mean, if I get home like 3 or 3:30, then of course I'll film videos. But if I get home like 5 or something like that, I'm not going to film any videos. I probably won't even film a vlog if I do get home that late. So, yeah. You know, I talked to my therapist. You know, it's like been recommended that like I need to allow myself to maybe take off some time and just kind of process everything that's going on in my head and not feel bad about it, you know. And then once we've like worked through this in the next couple weeks, like kind of like come back like full and whatever. But like he even asked me something about like, you know, taking like a week off, and I'm like, I just like I don't like I have such a hard time doing that. Like if I'm just sitting here, like I mean doing stopped. I was like, you know, just doing 2 therapy sessions a week. Like I've got all this time just on my hands and whatever. He's like, it would be really good for you just to like take some time and just, you know, listen to some audiobooks. By the way, Reese's book club came out today, and so I had said that for Peter's book club, we were going to piggyback off of whatever book Reese Witherspoon came out with her book for February, because I had loved the book that she picked for January so much, and I've been reading so many of her books, and the book looks really, really good. I'm really excited about it. I reshared it on my Instagram story, but you can go over to Reese's Book Club on Instagram. It's listed over there, or you can go to Reese's Book Club, the website, and they have it listed over there too. I can't remember the name, what it's called, but I'll talk about it in a BookTube video. And so he was like, you know, it would be really good for you to like take off a day here or a day there and just listen to audiobooks and just relax and do nothing. He was like, you really struggle with doing nothing. And he was like, even like when you like get your videos and stuff done, you're like doing this, doing that, like you're, you know, you make a list of all these things you have to get done. And he was like, it would be good for you just to not do anything for a day or two. He was like, you know, people like that have jobs that don't have kids, like on their days off, they like just get on the couch and watch TV for 10 hours straight. It's okay to do that. I have such a hard time. And he's like, you know, you're healing yourself, you're healing your mind, which is, you know, you're physically healed, but you're healing your mind as well right now. And he was like, you know, like you need to take some time to yourself and just allow yourself to relax and heal. So I don't know, like the thing is, and I said this not too long ago, this is the dichotomy for me, right? Like, when I'm gone with Caroline all day long, like, if I come home at 5, like, it makes the most sense, because I don't want to rush and in an hour or two film a bunch of videos, and you know what I mean? Like, and be uploading until 9 o'clock at night. But at the same time, that's a day that I'm, like, running around all day long, and so, like Sundays are a good day for me to take off. Although I don't like to, because I know that people like to watch vlogs and stuff on Sundays. The vlog's it's not even really about the vlog, because the vlog is like, you know, it's so easy just to sit down here and film. It's like when I feel like I want to make multiple videos. But like, Sundays are good if I like just decide that I'm not going to do it, because then I come home from brunch and I take a nap immediately, and then I get up and I just kind of relax for the night going into Monday starting it. But like when I'm running around and doing stuff all day long, it doesn't feel relaxing. It doesn't, like, I mean, as much as tomorrow, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid, okay? Like, running around and doing errands and having brunch is not a difficult day. I totally understand that. But it's not like taking a day and just doing nothing at home except for maybe a load of laundry here and there and watching like shows all day long. You know what I mean? And so like I very rarely allow myself to do that. Like, even when I have days where I don't film, I still have a list of things I want to do. And like you guys know, I've said this on here, I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to get away from doing that. So I don't know, you know, like, I didn't expect in January when I was taking a day off here and there and whatever that I was going to be doing this trauma narrative. But now that he's recommending maybe I take some time and just kind of relax and whatever, I probably this month will take a day off here and there and not film anything. And just like I said, like I feel like I keep on saying this like I'm beating a dead horse, but you know, taking a day off and whatever. It's like every time I do take a day off, it's interesting. Like, I get a lot of comments from people that are so supportive, and they're like, Peter, I'm so glad that you're taking a day off. Like, you really need it, and you really need to just relax and whatever. And then I get other people that are like, he's been taking so many days off, like, and I'm like, I literally put out like 20 20 plus videos a week. Even if I take a day or two off, I still put out that many videos, right? You know, which is like a crazy amount of videos. And then I get people that are like, you release all your videos at the same time, I can't keep up, which I love those comments because people want to watch all my videos, right? Or I get people that will be like, I don't have anything to go to sleep with tonight because you didn't vlog. And then I feel bad because I'm like, well, I didn't vlog tonight. You know, and then somebody will comment back and they'll be like, he literally has 7 years of vlogs. You can go back and watch like an old vlog, you know? But I feel bad, you know, because I feel so blessed that people want to watch my videos. If I'm just sitting here and there's nothing to do, I'm like, well, you can film a video. It's not like it's that difficult, you know what I mean? And so, so that's like all in my head. I don't know, but you guys are always like really supportive of me for needing to take a day off here and there. I don't know. I feel like I need to say that because in case I do it. You know, like when he said to me today, like, what about taking a week off? I was like, a week off? Like, what? Like, no. I like take 2 days off. No, true story. Like, I take 2 days off and other YouTubers are calling me and being like, are you okay? Like, you haven't posted in 2 days. Like, I'm really worried about you. And then I'm like, no, I'm just taking like a day off or, you know, whatever. And they're like, you need to film something. It'll be like good. And then I'm like in my head, I'm like, well, do I need to film something? Like, I guess I can't take another day off, you know? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I do know already that next Friday is the anniversary of the accident, and I'm not filming any videos that day, and I may not film any videos that week. It just depends on how I feel. I need to just take that day and be present. So I already know next Friday I'm not filming anything. But I'll probably announce that next week and you know, talk more about that next week, about taking some time off. So yeah. And then tonight, I mean, Alex is in there, probably knee deep in Emily in Paris. He's loving that show. Kind of cracks me up that he's watching that show. What was the other show that he was watching? It was the Jenny Han book that they turned it into a series. I remember her books were huge. P.S. I Love You and all that. Was that her, Jenny Han? She was huge on BookTube for a while. People were like, loved her books. And he watched that series and he really liked that series too. Yeah, Alex would probably really like the Gilmore Girls. I should probably recommend that to him. But it was so funny because the other night we were like, after we watched A Haunting in Venice, I mentioned like some other movie to him. And it was like a horror movie. Oh, it was Friday Night at Freddy's. And he said, and I said, do you want to watch that? And he goes, is that the horror movie one? I go, it is, but I don't think it's like super scary or anything like that. My husband used to love to watch scary movies. Like we only went to the movie. Do you remember me talking about that? We would only go to the movie theaters to watch scary movies. He doesn't ever want to watch scary movies anymore. Like he doesn't ever want to watch horror movies. He doesn't I don't know. By the way, somebody tagged me on this. Apple TV is coming out with a bunch of new shows this spring, and Blake Crouch, who's one of my favorite authors. Actually, there's like 2 books of his that I haven't read, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll make one of his books the March book for Peter's Book Club, because I love his books, and I haven't. There's like 2 of his books that are more recent. I think the last one I read was Recursion. But Dark Matter, which was like the first one of these books that he's like, since he's like come back and revamped himself, he's the one that wrote The Pines. That they made into a TV show with Matt Dillon. I love Blake Crouch. His stuff is so good. So Dark Matter is, if I remember correctly, it's kind of like about like time travel, but like multiple dimensions. But it's like dumbed down so that like it's not like that complicated. It's like about physics and stuff like that. But I loved that book so much. And somebody tagged me in this thing, I think it was like on Instagram, on Apple TV, announced it on Instagram or something, that Dark Matter is being made into a TV show, and it's coming out. It's got some famous star in it. I can't remember what her name is. But anyway, it's coming out in May, I think. So I'm really excited about that. And now when I get on Netflix, because I'm watching all these Harlan Coben shows and searching them out, like all my recommendations are all like these mystery thrillers, which I think is so funny. When I watched Fool Me Once, the main cop, it's his partner. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? He's like the younger guy that's taller. He is like, he's in like 3 or 4 of those like series, not like just the Harlan Coben ones, but like mystery thriller series where there's like a detective agent. He's in like 3 or 4 of them, because this other one that I came up with, it was like this woman is killed in some suspicious manner. It looked really good. It's not a Harlan Coben one, but I thought I would watch it next. I can't remember what it's called. But I'm getting recommended all these series. I like forgot how much I love these mystery thriller series until I start. I can't believe that I watched that Fool Me Once and now I'm completely hooked. It doesn't take much, which by the way means I haven't started on Real Housewives of New Jersey because I'm kind of into this. And this is one thing that I'm like trying to really do a lot in 2024 is just like be present in the moment and whatever, and just like really enjoy whatever I'm doing that moment, which is like why I say like I don't know how I'll feel tomorrow with Cousin Fun Day. But like the other night I was like, oh, you gotta start like Real Housewives of New Jersey or you won't get caught up in time and blah blah whatever. And I'm like, the other night I was like, just watch what makes you happy. Just like if this is in the moment, if you're happy watching these like mystery thriller series, just watch them. Like you don't have to binge watch all these reality series. So right now the reality series binge is kind of on a pause. I was going to do Below Deck and Real Housewives of New Jersey, but I think that's kind of on a pause right now, and I'll come back to that. I'll circle back to that. I still have to finish Fear the Walking Dead, and I do want to finish that. I'm kind of like, that's the kind of show I'm in the mood for right now. It's kind of like these fictional world shows, you know? Like, they make me think a little bit more, and all. Like, reality TV is easy just to kind of like watch and be like this, but like, these shows make me think a little bit more. And so, I don't know, I just like, I'm enjoying watching them. And there's like 10 Harlan Coben shows, and then there's like 20 that are just like it, that are out by other people. And I think Karen Slaughter, who wrote Pieces of Her, I think that was the show that like Tony and I both like, which is called Pieces of Her. I think it was with Toni Collette. I love Toni Collette. I think there's like 2 or 3 Karen Slaughter ones. Tanya reads everything by her, but they're so long. They're like on Audible. They're like 15 to 18 hours long. She reads like everything by her. Tanya loves a huge book. Like if it's not over like 300 or 400 pages, Tanya won't even, like she doesn't even like want to touch it. She like a good book to Tanya is like 700 pages. She loves a long book that she can get into. Not me. I like a shorter book. But anyway, and I haven't listened to any of my audiobook. Remember how that was my plan, was to be done by this weekend? Guess how much I listened to? I think like half an hour or something like that. One night I listened to a little bit. The next night I like turned it on and I wasn't into it. But I'm not gonna like just like DNF, which means do not finish, Stalking Around the Christmas Tree. Like I'm gonna finish that book before I go into my next thing. So yeah, the next couple days are supposed to be really nice. So maybe one of those days I can sit outside and I can listen to a little bit of the audiobook and maybe get it done. Because it feels so Christmassy right now. That means not at all. But, so yeah, and then, I don't know what I'm going to watch after I watch The Stranger. Maybe Innocent. I have a hard time with subtitles because my, like wearing reading glasses, my eyes start hurting when I'm like watching like the subtitles. And so unless I'm watching it on a TV, like on a TV I can do subtitles no problem. But like on like an iPad, it's hard for me to read like subtitles, like for like episode after episode after episode. So is the whole thing in Spanish? I don't know. Is it like dubbed over? Is it like in subtitles? I don't know. But The Innocent is like number 1 on every single one of the series. So I might watch that. And then I started the other night, before I started that one, the Postcard Killer or Killings or whatever. It's with that famous guy, and he goes to somewhere in Europe, I think England or whatever, London, because his daughter is killed, and he's trying to hunt down the killer. It's called the Postcard Killings. It's like top 10 on Netflix on movies. I wasn't watching Netflix forever, and it feels like in the last month I've watched a lot of Netflix. So somebody asked me, it's funny, like the questions I get when I talked a lot about that in like more than one episode, more than one vlog, but I know that people don't watch all my vlogs, so I get it. But I keep on getting asked about Fall the House of Usher. I watched Alex and I watched it together. I thought it was fantastically done. I watched all those movies that are by that production team, like The Haunting of Hill House and stuff like that. The Fall of the House of Usher was fantastic because it takes the book, which is by Edgar Allan Poe. Actually, it references a lot of Edgar Allan Poe's. This is where I know I talked about it, because I talked about this at length. it references a lot of his writing and poems, and it kind of like mixes them through the show. But it takes I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it takes the house, the family, the Usher family, and it compares them to the Purdue Pharma family that made OxyContin. And it's like, it's a comparison of them two, but it's then told like through the story of the fall of the House of Usher. It's very, very well done. Very well done. I would highly recommend that on Netflix if you're looking for a good show. It's a little paranormal. Like a little bit. I don't love watching straight on paranormal unless I'm in the mood for it and I know that that's what I'm getting myself into. Like a lot of people are like immediately like they can't do it like at all. I don't love like watching series that are paranormal. Caroline was listening to an audiobook last week. It was that Nora Roberts one. I think that was called The First One or something. There was like she's like a book that's like 3 books. I listened to the first one and then I was going to listen to the next, but I listened to it right when it came out. And it's about like fairies and gargoyles. It's like the end of the world, but the end of the world is like all paranormal. And it's like all these people that are like fairies and vampires. Do you guys know what that series is? Can somebody let me know in the comment section below if they know what that series is called? I guess I could ask Caroline, because maybe I'll read book 2. And then I read those books too. I think I read the first 2, and there's like 3 or 4 in the series. They're called like The First Second After, The First Minute After, and it's like The First Year After, whatever. Like, those books are really, really good too. It's kind of like End of the World. It's like when there's like something happens like to the United States and everything stops. That book was like terrifying to read because it's like if it really, really happened. And it was about a guy, and I remember he like taught at a college, and he lived in a small town. Does anybody else remember that book? I feel like it's by like William Forth something. Yes, I did just crack my knuckles. Do you remember when people were growing up and they would say, like, if you chewed gum and swallowed it, it would never digest, and if you cracked your knuckles, it would, like, permanently hurt your hands? I remember my dad, like, I would say that to my dad. My dad would be like, my dad is a hand reconstructionist. He would say, there's no truth to that whatsoever. I'd be like, but if you swallow gum, you'd be like, no, you digest gum just like you digest anything else you swallow. And that's not true. You digest gum just like everything else. I'd be like, so if I crack my knuckles, he's like, no, it won't hurt your hands. You're completely fine. I'm like, okay. Isn't that so funny? Those things you think are true. It's like when people used to say, like, you can only test for, like, LSD and a spinal tap. Do you guys remember that? Remember back? If you're, like, my age, you'll know that one, right? And that's, like, so not true whatsoever. You can actually, in hair and urine, you can test for anything. Like, literally anything. You just have to, like, know what you're testing for. So, like, you could test, like, in urine. You could test, like, if somebody was, like, huffing Febreze, you could test for Febreze. You could actually test for probably, like, what scent they were, like, huffing. If you knew to test for that, if that makes sense. But, like, in hair samples, you can do that, too. But I can remember, you know, like, back in the day, everyone would be like, you can only test for LSD and, like, spinal taps. And then I found out that there was, like, no, when I was working in treatment, they're like, no, that's not true at all. You can test for LSD in urine. You can test for LSD in, you know, hair and whatever. So, anyway, little fact for you there. Just like you can't get, like you cannot test positive. Like people swear by this. I'm telling you, there's absolutely no way. You cannot test positive for marijuana by secondhand smoke. That's impossible. You don't inhale it the same way. Like when people be like, oh, I was like sitting in a car and somebody was getting high. No, you can't test positive that way at all. Little side note for everybody out there. Oh my god, see the battery is like dying already. So okay, this is my bad battery, because where am I at? I'm at like 47 minutes right now. Well, I guess I should probably get off here because before it starts flashing. So this is the battery that I'm gonna have to go inside. I should put something on. I should put like a marker on it so I know this is my bad battery, and then I'll order a new battery. But anyway, it was so funny because I got like this like message from like Amazon, because I bought all my batteries on Amazon. And it was a battery that was like 3 or 4 years old, and it was like a recall. And it said that these batteries are not good. They don't work. And I was like, I've been using this battery for like 4 years, 3 or 4 years. It's worked for me. But I got this like recall. Has anybody ever gotten that? I got like a recall. I think it was like was it a message on Amazon, or did I actually get a letter in the mail? I feel like I got a letter in the mail for it. It was a while ago that I got that, but I thought that was so funny. All right, you guys, I want to get off here now. I hope that you guys, the bird is still sleeping in the wreath. Sometimes when I stand in the kitchen, I can see him or her fly in there. People said the way that you can tell a male from a female bird is that male birds are like more color. Like, I always knew that, right? But like in Indiana, like every bird is turd colored. They're like, I mean, there's, other than cardinals and blue jays, there's not tons of beautiful birds in Indiana. They're all kind of like brown and look like sparrows. I mean, I can't imagine every sparrow is male, right? So like they all kind of look like brown and just whatever, and small. They're all real small like that. So, but I can see it like when I'm standing in the kitchen making coffee late at night, I can see it like fly in underneath here. Cause like the light's on, you know, the carriage light, which is, the carriage light's right there. So you can see it because of the light, because it'll fly like in front of the light, I can see like that. And, so yeah, so little bird still, little bird, we'll call him Little Bird, because like before it was Mrs. Birdie, so we'll call it Little Bird. So Little Bird's still sleeping in the wreath. The only thing that's up there is pine cones. My neighbor, she still got her, oh no, she took them down. She took her snowman down. She still got her Christmas lights on though, and she's still got, I see one snowman like styrofoam thing sitting in her plant. She's got her Christmas plants up, so she ain't got everything down yet, so. I can still have my wreath up on the door. I think that's fine. At least till March, you know. But the other thing I don't want to do, this is where I'm going to have to be very careful, is the second that I start seeing that a bird is building a nest, because Little Bird, he hasn't built a nest in there. He just sleeps behind it on the back side. Do you think that's so bizarre? I think that's so bizarre he didn't build a nest or anything. But the second that I see that he's building a nest, we're done. Like, I'm not, like, the wreath is coming down, because there will be no nest up there, because my husband will lose his mind. There is, I will tell you this, though. There was bird poop on my table that I had to clean off. There was bird poop on my chair and on my pillow, and there was bird poop down over there. It's still over there, right there. Is that bird poop? Yeah, I think it is. So anyway, oh, there's little sprinkles of bird poop. So, I don't know. He must have been eating the treats that I left out here. I put some of it over there, and I think, like, he eats it, 'cause some of it's on the chair sometimes and stuff. I just don't feel like I cannot have him have a place to live in the winter. It's so cold, and I want him to be safe from the other animals and stuff, you know? So anyway, so the wreath will stay up there for a while. I'm not too worried about what people think about it, unless I get a letter from the HOA saying you got to take down the wreath, and then I'll be like, well, a bird's sleeping in it, so you can get over the wreath on my front door. But anyway, all right, well, I'm going to get off here. So I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing, what is today? Tuesday. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. We're not going to a meeting tonight because Tony Jean is busy. She's got stuff going on. So just for people that are like, oh, don't you go to a meeting on Tuesday night? We're not going tonight. Tony Jean's got stuff going on. So figuring out another day this week. So I hope that you're having a magically amazing Tuesday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you need to, or your week if you need to. If you need to start your whole week over, just go, starting it over. Okay, tomorrow's going to be a better day, a better week. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but don't tell anyone. And 3, just do it because it's the nice thing to do. It's nice. It feels right to do nice things. You know, it feels nice. 3, make sure to reach out to somebody and let them know how much it means to you, whether it's by, you know, postcard, text, phone call, or just stop by. Like I always say, you don't know. You might be putting a smile on their face. You might be cheering them up. You might be making their day, and you might be making them feel not so all alone. Also, be kinder to one another. Love one another a little bit more. And most importantly, be kinder to yourself and love yourselves a little bit more. Because if you're kinder to yourself, you'll be kinder to others. And if you love yourself more, you will love others more as well. I almost didn't get that. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. And for those that just happen to stick around, one more I love you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.